How do 2-minute rounds change beatbox battles? Let's get started.
My eyes are red.
Since the beginning of modern battling, the vast majority of face-to-face battle rounds have been 90 seconds. If it's not 90 seconds, they would often only be a minute. Very rarely do we see beatbox battles with 2-minute face-to-face rounds, and they're often only placed in the finals of tournaments such as the Midwest Beatbox Battle or French Champs 2011, where the rest of the competition's rounds would be 90 seconds in contrast. La Cup has always been an outstanding competition because of its ever-evolving format, with the most recent edition, Worldwide Cup 2026, using the battle clock format, popularized by D-Lo and used in the crew battles of La Cup 2013. The 2014 edition is what we will focus on here. It specifically featured 2-minute rounds throughout the entirety of a top 16 solo bracket, making it a unique tournament with a rare format that gives us an opportunity to explore what battlers have done when given the autonomy of an additional 30 seconds per round. Let's get into it. When we look at competitions like American Beatbox Champs 2012, we see the effect 1-minute rounds have on battlers. When met with the pressure of showing variety in their techniques, battlers often switch flows quickly and abruptly, as if to avoid feeling like they didn't get to show enough different ideas and techniques in their battles. This kind of pressure is understandable when faced with these short 1-minute timers. Naturally, the inverse happens when you add 30 seconds to the standard round rather than the track 30 seconds. Exploring a singular flow for a longer time becomes more of a viable strategy, because the battle is no longer rushed. So in that case, why should the beat get rushed? With this format, spending a natural amount of time on an idea, as if you were to do this in a non-battle context such as a showcase to normal people, is often more advantageous. Let's take a look at an example, the first rounds between Bloomer and Jimmix, to see how this concept plays out. Bloomer spends 75 seconds exploring a single flow before he switches. This is not something that we would usually see in 90-second battles unless you're Kim or Wawad or the Pounder or some other guys, because that would pretty much be most of your round. Here, however, when you listen to how Bloomer continually integrates new sounds and techniques into his flow, and you compare it to the hastiness of some of Jimmix's switches, you can see how Bloomer's ideas would be easier to follow and feel out, giving him an advantage. One of the judges, Darnie, even explains it in a comment. You guys know why Bloomer won? It was because although he was less technical, he had more flow and his beats were way cleaner. Jimmix could have won easily, but he was a little too nervous and he messed up a bit, which was really crucial in the battles. It's all about who is making who feel like dancing to the beatboxer's groove, not doing too much and too much more than you can actually do. If Jimmix were to sound a tad bit cleaner and stay consistent, he would have won. Bloomer was just more on point with his routines and was nicer to listen in this battle. Peace, guys! With that being said, let's move on to number 2. In GBB showcase eliminations, you'll see many beatboxers spending the beginning of their round creating an ambiance. With the challenge of doing a 4 or 5 minute round showcase, this is not only for the sake of structure, but also dynamics, ensuring that when they inevitably intensify their beatboxing, it is more impactful. We also see the prevalence of this in La Cup 2014, so for example, take a look at Slizzer's intro in his battle versus Tatsuya, and then his intro in his battle versus Doma in La Cup 2016 with a 90-second round.
Tatsuya-san, ganbatte.
The first one in 2014 is about 21 seconds, and the second one in 2016 is about 7 seconds before the first drum is introduced in both clips. Slizer is adjusting his routine structure based on the round timer, building atmosphere proportionally to it. You can also see beatboxers like Babbly, Tatsuya, FIB, and Big Ben use a good amount of round time in this tournament to set the tone. Number 3, because there's more time, you get time to do multiple routines or finish your ideas. Because have you ever wished you could just throw 30 seconds of drum and bass on top of your round? Well, if so, this might be the format for you. Also, you know how at the end of D-Lo's first round versus Hiss in GBB, he just suddenly pulls out a 10-second hip-hop beat, and it works because it's a D-Lo hip-hop beat, so it's immediately catchy?
Switch! Life without parole, life without parole.
Well, this is the format for that kind of thing. It was very common for battlers to throw in their shorter ideas in their rounds since they had the time for it, especially if these were the kind of beats you could follow along with pretty quickly. There were battlers as well who shortened routines so they could fit them together in a round, and also battlers who got to finish longer ideas that would otherwise be cut short. So for example, one of the most popular battles ever, often considered to be one of the best battles, is Big Ben versus BR. But at the end of Big Ben's second round, something tragic happens where he isn't able to finish the full routine.
Yo, look at my eyes when I'm dropping the bass in your face. I know they are way too low. In front of it, you sound like a hoe. I'm the master, you the rookie. You so unlucky. Even if it's hungry, I will share my fucking cookie.
While this may seem fine, what makes me sad is that everyone watching this competition couldn't feel the full impact of what that beat was supposed to be if he had more time. Here's what it was in Lock Cup 2014.
Yo, look at my eyes when I'm dropping the bass in your face. I know they are way too low. In front of it, you sound like a hoe. I'm the master, you the rookie. You so unlucky. Even if he's hungry, I won't share my fucking cookie. Because I'm a fucking shadow, Seymour.
Alright, number 4. Of course, with any format, there are certain things that are going to be more punishable. In the longevity of a 2-minute round, repetitiveness, inconsistency, and exhaustion become things that are significantly more noticeable. And this is further exponentiated by the tournament being a top 16 bracket. This makes it incredibly important to conserve energy, avoid mistakes, and arrange material in a way where similar techniques can be presented in different and refreshing ways. For example, take a look at these 2 different intros from Tatsuya to see what repetitiveness might look like in this competition. Additionally, let's look at Jimmix's second round versus Bloomer and see how it affects your perception of the beat when there starts to be some inconsistency. Of course, these kinds of things would also be factored in during a normal battle, but in an environment where it's a little more important to be a marathon runner than a sprinter, it affects the outcome quite a bit, which leads to my final point. Number 5. Battling becomes less about density. It becomes less about fitting in a bunch of high and low moments within your material. When you watch a 30-second OT, who usually wins? It's usually whoever has the more impactful drop or the more impressive tech roll. This is because in a round that short, singular moments take on all the weight and become incredibly definitive. In battles with 2-minute rounds, it's not likely that a single drop will determine whether or not you win a battle. It could, but it's more likely that the judges, like Darnie implied earlier in that comment, were looking for something more akin to an overall feeling. What makes you groove rather than headbang, or slow dance rather than jump or bounce? As a result, style clashes in this format are very interesting because a lot of what affects the battle outcomes are things like a single detail in a snare, or the sound design of a particular bass, or the sharpness of a series of drums, as all of those things become increasingly magnified as they are presented more frequently throughout the competition. For that reason, Slizzer vs Tatsuya is my favorite battle in this tournament because we get to see all of the aforementioned things interweave in a complex way, as two great artists with different approaches to music clash in style.
Is it on the place?
Don't even think about to beat me. Indeed free. Cause now it's still last round. You want to battle? Me too.
Now, with all of this said, who is one of the best beatboxers in this format? One of the beatboxers who would greatly benefit from having these longer rounds.
Ok. Quand je dis what's my name, je vais vous chanter tous FIB. What's my name? 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 What? Yup. What's my motherfucking name? What's my motherfucking name? What's my motherfucking name? Sorry. What's my
FIB has it all in Lockup 2014 with this slow and steady style. He has long, slow-moving beats that evolve over time. He has a great ability to build atmosphere and get an entire audience on the same page, especially with his intros. He arranges similar techniques in different ways so that they can sound fresh each time. He has a multitude of ideas with flexible lengths, and most of all, his flow is unreal.
Lamborghini Mercy. Lamborghini Mercy. Lamborghini Mercy. Drop. Don't face me. Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. Piss me. Don't piss me off. Piss me. Don't piss me.
These strengths of FIB don't just apply here. After this, he would go on to win Beatbox All-Stars in 2015, which is a showcase battle where his style also shined. He would easily pass GBB Elims in 2015 with his style and become vice champ. And with his ability to do insanely well in 2 minutes, he would also go on to get top 16 in World Championships 2015 and 2018 with amazing eliminations both times. One of my favorite beatboxers.
The two voice at the same time.
Cinq secondes. Wow, c'était la finale. Wow. Tous ensemble.
That's all for this one. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.